ABC News political director Rick Klein joins us now. Rick, how significant is this move and why now?
Well, the big question is this part of a larger pattern of retaliation? Is this what the president is doing now that it's become increasingly clear that he is not on track to have won re-election? Joe Biden is the president-elect. It's extraordinarily unusual to have a cabinet official fired, essentially, this close to an inauguration day when we know that the president in all likelihood is going to be leaving office in a couple of months. A lot of folks around the White House, around Washington, are scared for their jobs, though. Any sense that that there's defeatist elements inside his own administration? The White House has really very little patience for people that don't think the president still could succeed. And it does appear to be perhaps an act of score settling. And the question that's on my mind, and I think many in Washington, is who's next? What's next? What else will it do? And I'd also add the question about stability around the world, that that time between presidential administrations is a time that that people that might wish the United States well could take advantage of. And to have disruption at the top of the military ranks is not a good thing.
So I guess on that note, what do you think the chances are that we see more administration officials fired before Inauguration Day? And what does that do for our security, but also for the transition?
Yeah, I mean, it seems almost inevitable that there'll be other people who are terminated where their service ended and be thanked for their service by this president. He's done it at various times in administration, and I don't think he's in a particularly good mood at the moment. And if he's going to do that and settle some scores, it has to be now. So I think it's very likely that there's going to be more firings before the end. The president is, by all accounts, quite angry with how he's been served by many people. He's demanded more loyalty than he has gotten back, in his view. And look, I think from the Biden team's perspective, they expected noise. They expected instability. They certainly hope that nothing jeopardizes the health and safety of Americans. But they're moving ahead with their plans. And no great surprise, Joe Biden will have his own picks for the cabinet in January. Have to try to get them confirmed by a Senate. They may be controlled by Republicans. Biden, I'm not expecting a lot of indignant statements at this point. It's not about winning votes, losing votes. He just wants to project as much calm as he can. You know, his statement today just imploring Americans to wear masks. You kind of think, if we'd be in a different situation as a country if we had a president who'd been doing that for 7 months or so.
Rick, let's talk about these legal challenges that the Trump campaign is waging. A number of the cases filed have already been shut down in Nevada, Michigan, Georgia, and Pennsylvania. Why haven't they been successful, and what do we know about the case that was?
Well, so far, we just don't have any evidence. I mean, here's the thing, is that this has been a political strategy in search of a legal strategy from the start, for the last, 6 days now, 5 days now. The Trump campaign knew it was losing and was looking for ways to try to establish what could possibly happen. Now, look, there are some narrow areas where they've been successful, which is to make sure that they have observers looking at ballots as they're counted. There's still a contest around the question about whether Pennsylvania could count or will count votes that were received after election night. The Supreme Court was deadlocked on that decision before. But here's the thing. The current vote in Pennsylvania actually doesn't include those, and President Trump is losing anyway. So barring some kind of a smoking gun piece of evidence that shows systemic problems to the tune of tens and tens of thousands of votes in multiple states, these legal challenges are going nowhere. There's just no way to look at this on its face and say, here we go, this is the path to the presidency for Donald Trump. Whether he knows it or he wants to believe it or not, Joe Biden is the president-elect. And yes, there are legal avenues that are available to a losing candidate, but until or unless they bring forward some actual evidence, it's just not going to matter.
And President-elect Biden announced a COVID-19 transition advisory board to put his plan in place on day one. That's what he's hoping for, at least. What would that entail?
Well, the main thing that it entails, he outlined already today, which is wearing a mask. And he has said that he wants to make it a national mandate, but he acknowledges that he doesn't have the power as a president. Following the science, of course, sounds very simple, but it's a point of actual dissension between the two of them. He has said that he would elevate Anthony Fauci or make sure that Anthony Fauci gets invited to all of those task force meetings. That may be just a more symbolic step at this point. But we also know we're at a stage now, given the news news with Pfizer and a potential vaccine. This is potentially a turning point. It's also a very dangerous time. And I think the way that Vice President Biden, now President-elect Biden, outlined it today, he wants to turn to governing. He knows that if people now start following the basic scientific common sense advice to keep themselves safe and healthy, he inherits, and the country's in a much better place, but he inherits a much better situation. So to my mind, this was a first attempt to just appear like he's already president.
All right, Rick Klein, our political director. We appreciate it, Rick. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.